All right, everybody, so we are going to jump into Microsoft Excel. We are working on Chapter 2, 2.1b. We're always going to be working in the problem sets. That's found on page 46. We're going to be talking about analyzing the effects of transactions on the accounting equation. Excellent. All right, everybody. So we are going to be doing the two things that we have, property and financial interest. So I'm going to go ahead and start off, and I'm going to say this is problem 2.1b, so I can remember that. And I'm going to double click on sheet 1 and type in 2.1b, so I can remember that I'm going to do one per page, essentially. I double click down here to change that tab, and I typed in an A1, alpha 1. I'm going to zoom in so we can see this nice and easy. We're going to go ahead and start off. We have 11 transactions happening here, and it says on September 1st, Mireya Cortez opened up self-images tutoring service. Analyze the following transactions. Use the fundamental accounting equation form to record changes in the property, claims to the creditors, and owner's equity. Use plus, minus, and equals signs. Okay, good. We can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying I know that I'm going to have my assets over here. I'm actually going to say assets. And I believe I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to start over here. I'm going to put liabilities in J. And we'll do equity in a minute here. I'm going to zoom out so you can see it all kind of together. So my first asset's going to be cash. I know it's going to be cash. I'm going to skip one here and I'm going to put accounts receivables. If you guys remember when you're typing accounts, then you hit Alt Enter. It'll give you a second line that you can do in Excel, receivables. And then I'm going to type in supplies and equipment. These are going to be the things that we're using.
Wait a minute, Mr. Greer, hold on. What did you say for?
How do I do the Alt Enter?
Yeah, Alt Enter.
That's how you do it. Good. Now I'm going to list my transactions out here because I see in the problem that I have 11 transactions. So I just listed out all 11 of them. And I'm going to condense that a little bit. This is good. Also, I don't know if you guys remember this from ACC101, but you can click on this B2 all the way over to H2. And if I go over here to this merge and center button right here, it'll kind of put assets over all of it. I like that. It makes me happy. So now I have one big thing saying, hey, here's all my assets. And whatever you do in business, you always want to cover your assets. I thought it was funny. Okay. And next, because I'm kind of setting this up as they showed us in the examples in the book, I'm just going to go put a plus. Oops. It's making me think I'm in an equation. If you use the apostrophe and then the plus, and then the apostrophe, and then the plus, and then the apostrophe, then the plus. Over here I'm going to do apostrophe and then an equal sign. This is kind of setting it up so it looks like the equation. I'm going to center all these for me. Just so I'm kind of looking at it like the equation that's in the book. This will keep me in my mind, I believe, happily doing the right things. Did you guys see that? You have to use the apostrophe in order to keep an operation from being an operation. That kind of says, whatever I'm typing here, just keep what I'm saying. Don't use it as an operation. Yes?
Or you can just hit enter after you hit it.
Okay, mine is incinerate.
Well, I highlighted it all and hit center. I highlighted all of this, and then I hit that little alignment button right there. in Word, that would be Control E, but they don't let us do that in Excel. And because I'm in the future and I know what this problem is going to ask us for, I'm going to scoot over to liabilities and I'm going to type accounts, Alt-Enter, payable, plus, so apostrophe plus, and then owners, capital, Alt-Enter, capital. And this is actually owner's equity up here. I'm going to center it all. So I know this is what's going to be required for this problem. So it should look like that when we're all said and done. Mr. Tuck's like, wow, he's fast. It's okay. It's on YouTube. You're going to be able to. But if I don't speed up, we've only got 5 minutes of class. Who's got class after this? Oh. Well, I'll stay and finish this one if you guys are okay with that. Then I can post it. All right, so let's do the first transaction. We ready to go? Priscilla's typing. I was going to ask her. Priscilla, transaction number 1 says what?
The owner invested $36,000 in cash to begin the business.
Beautiful. So the owner invested it. So what are my 2 things going to be? I need to always do 2 entries. Cash is going to, what are we going to do to cash?
Add $36,000.
So 36,000.
And then for owner's capital,
Yep. Then we're going to come over to owner's capital, add 36,000. And you know what I'm going to do just to make this easier on myself for this whole thing is I'm going to highlight all this stuff 1 through 11. I'm going to go up here to comma style, Gangnam style, and then I'm going to get rid of 2 decimal places. So I have that comma, but I don't have to deal with all the zeros. I like that. Mr. Tuck, don't exhale at me. No, just kidding. And then I'm going to, you guys remember how to do this from ACC101 where if you highlight all of these columns and then you go like double tap, it shrinks them all? You guys remember how to do that? Mm-hmm. So if you just highlight the letter and it'll where the pluses and the equals are, you just double tap, it'll shrink it so that we don't have to have so much space, and then I can zoom in, you can see this a little bit better. I like that. Sir? Double tap in between the last column.
You went for the comma.
Comma style,
Comma style, okay.
right here.
Oh, okay.
And then just 2 over from that is the decreased decimals. Just press it twice. It's not going to kill you if you have a bunch of zeros. It's just easier to read. Priscilla, great job. Now I'm going to show you one other little trick here. If I was setting this up, doing this homework myself, which is I'd probably come down here and say this. This is going to be the sum of everything above it. You know, this Autosum button? I'm going to sum everything above it. And I'm going to copy that with a Control C. Or, you know what, I'll do it easier. I'm just going to drag that sucker all the way across. So if you click on it after you've done one sum, you get this bottom right piece of the box, and you drag it across. That formula now is everywhere. And anytime I type something in, it'll automatically come down to the bottom. And what am I going to do one more time, Paul, just to make sure everything balances? I'm going to say this one equals 36,000 plus whatever's in accounts receivables plus whatever's in supplies plus whatever's in equipment. Then I'm going to come over here and say this one equals anything that's in accounts payable plus anything that's in owner's capital. As long as these 2 numbers down here equal, I'm good to go. Yes, sir?
You do that one more time, starting from accounts receivable.
I'm going to say equals cash plus accounts receivables plus supplies plus equipment. I'm just clicking on those boxes. And this is the math part. We're going to let the computer do all the math. We're just setting it up. And I hit tab. I come over here and do it one more time to the other side of the equation. And all I'm doing here is setting up a formula that does exactly what it says it's going to do up here. You didn't see me do that? What's going on, Mr. Tuck? I think you need to be sitting right here.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's going on?
Well, I mean, you're going too fast, so I'll get with you afterwards.
All right, well, it is on YouTube, and it's in high definition. And you can have me in your bedroom or in your living room, wherever you'd like to visit with me. You can definitely do this anytime. On your cell phone.
What's the title of this right here? On YouTube, what's the title?
It's Professor Greer videos, but there's a link, I believe, on the homepage. If there's not, I'll put one on there. You can go in there. Don't take me in the bathroom. Okay. Okay, so we've got this. Let's just jump down and do at least one more transaction so everybody can see this really quick, and then I'll finish this with everybody that stays. Transaction number 2, Jennifer. What is it?
Purchased equipment for $16,000.
Okay, so we purchased equipment for $16,000 in cash. What am I going to do?
Put it in the number 2 and put 16
16 for what?
for cash.
16 for cash. Okay. And what other positive or negative are we going to have?
In owner's capital.
No, we're buying equipment. So equipment's going to go up 16,000. But now look what happens down here. If I compare my two numbers at the bottom, this is 68,000 and this is 36,000. That doesn't work. So what I need to do is actually subtract this one. So I'm going to put in a negative 16,000. And notice it comes up in brackets. That's the negative. And now we have an equal number going on here. Okay? Now, Miss Peisel's out there. She's freaking out because she wants to come in and teach ACC101. I'm going to do this so you guys can have this, but we're going to run through it in Speedy Gonzalez phrase, okay? So everybody just pay attention. You don't even need to type it. You can go do this at home. Number 3, purchase $6,000 of additional equipment on credit. So great, we're going to get some more credit. I'm going to put $6,000 in credit. We owe it to someone, so I'm going to put $6,000 over here now. Notice that these are two equals. Number 4 says paid $3,000 in cash to our creditors. So we're going to spend cash. We're going to pay it to them. So we're going to take $3,000 and send it to them. And we're going to also pay off our creditors $3,000. Perfect. Number 5, owner made an additional investment of $6,000 in cash. We're going to add $6,000 of cash. We're going to add $6,000 of owner's capital. Number 6, perform services for $4,200 in cash. So we just made $4,200 in cash. So I'm going to go ahead and put, I always like to start with cash, $4,200 coming in, and owner's capital is part of revenue. So we're going to put $4,200 in here. Or revenue is part of owner's capital. Number 7 says perform services for $3,650 on an account, which means we earned it, but we didn't get it. So it's $3,650 on account, and it was revenue that came in, so 3,650. Number 8 says paid $2,600 for rent expense. So we're going to say negative $2,600 because I'm sending cash out. And we're going to say negative $2,600 over here because we don't have expenses broken out in this problem. Okay. Finally, number 9, received $2,500 from credit clients, meaning that they're clients that usually pay with credit. So we're going to add $2,500. We're going to subtract $2,500 from our accounts receivables because we already got it. Number 10, paid $3,150 in cash for office supplies. I'm going to get rid of the cash, $3,150, but it's got to go over here, equals $3,150. Still in balance. And finally, number 11, the owner withdrew $5,000 in cash for personal expenses. Cash is going out. I love to start with cash. And then we're going to say minus $5,000. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm asking you tonight, go to YouTube, watch this, come in with this tomorrow. We will do more homework tomorrow, and then we'll have a take-home test this weekend. Okay? But I think it's way better if we do the homework so we're all knowing what's going on. But please, you need to go home and get this done tonight so you can come in with this finished. Because this is going to be something we're going to use for the next one and the next one. Don't submit anything yet. I'm just saying you're going to want it by the time you get in tomorrow. So I'm going to pause this Camtasia. I'm going to stop it. And this will get uploaded to YouTube in a few minutes.